by John Wieners from this wonderful book that's just come out from Bootstrap Press. Derek Fenner's here, one of the editors. It was edited by James Dunn. This is called A New Book from Rome. Maybe some of you know of this journal that Charles kept for about that John Wieners kept for about 6 months when he was at the Central Islip Hospital in Long Island, Mental Hospital in Long Island. I actually visited him there during that period, and went through Olson's death, 1970, and it continued back to when he was living with his parents. Wieners was living with his parents, and it's called Charles's Death at the Plaza, January 4th, 1970. The hotel orchestra began at 7, followed by whistling in the corridor and banging on doors that went off and on like stopwatches. A great poet lay across town at the Cornell Medical Center, waiting for the next note, which never came. Only the voice of the dance band conductor thanking his audience for waiting. I could not believe he would die, even though my dream had come true and he had fulfilled so many. So all of us here, he fulfilled so many. And this is from book 3 of the Iovis Project, subtitled Colors and the Mechanism of Concealment. And it's called G-Spot. And here's a little quote from Olson's poem, The Ring of, to Aphrodite. She rose from the genital wave. So it's the ring of the sea pink, very sexy image. So this is just a little bit of this section called G-Spot. As stripper offers up her nightwears, a promise of microgravity's many propensities, seduction's a middle name. Go there often, the bottoms up strip joint just down the road. Wonder the stories behind the stories in subtext hard scrabble lives. Can't just be seedy need or bead of needy eye in that seed. Compare with strippers' lives in Thailand's red lit Patpong district. Tambak radio, oh, take me back. Document these natives. Sex trade has its own needs, need not be seedy need, and no one's ever all about the money. I'm just a waitress, tits and naked flare. I like to dance, the eyes on me. How much, I ask, to repeat that number. Slow night, it's anything you want. A drink? Denizens of place, one ancient transvestite, Barbara Bush, far from home, and you have to wonder, not being a true Barbara Bush, what is the fancy or fantasy of travesty? A chest of falsies like multi-tit Gorgon? Oh, Barbara, you fucking racist. Sailors from the Space Center, cars crashing against each other in the broad light. They play the anthem and wake up little Susie. One guy comes in late, blind, but tells the waiter he feels the grind in sound. He said sound in a funny way, just that way you might say sex or sorry. And he says, turning to me, body parts, what do they signify? Born in a blast 14 million years ago, geology's membrane taut and ready. G-spot that is elusive like eclipse. G-spot that intimidates the doctor. G-spot, a genie trapped in a bottle, presses on as genome does, resolute, stippled of need, her body parts. What do they mean? And say to us down under the strobe, a statue looks frozen in outer space till she shatters. A purification ceremony called Melis or Melasti burns. Fire puja burns and takes the form of a procession to the sea or pilgrimage to another world where demons dwell down under. Rolled copper beads from Lake Superior, dried leaves of Yopon holly, find a penny for the admiral's thought. migrations of sacred objects, stern ones as well, stem cells in the mix, the detritus of all the body parts, as we, the tribal areas, mixing all sorts of earthly effluvia into the ocean in a myth called the churning of the sea of milk. G-spot, a temple, a place to visit. Plug in G-spot, a sacred pleasure spot for adoration of singing her need. Groans dare a groan, sound plummets. G-spot, like geometry of space-time, universe's density or a rate of expansion with busy nematodes she wanted to, and your sex cry goes out to scatter the world. Ah! G-spot, shatter the ears of the world. G-spot, big weapons system, launched and trigger happy, a dilemma on or off the landing station. G-spot crashes and burns. Push the button, tidy manicured fingers will activate the launch. G-spot, don't you realize you are a local occasion of the universe? Primordial gases of the early universe could be laced with tiny temperature variations. Do, re, mi, like you, a note, a sight, a semblance of ecstatic dreaming. G-spot was a hilarious overtone because she wanted recognition, acoustic waves in the expanding fireball, a stimulation she wanted, the fireball seated, ringing like a bell she wanted, and gong, 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 she sang. She wants it always, waiting for more with a main note and overtone. She wanted notes on which the early fireball was singing. Gong, 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 gave notice to her wanting or way to validate or calculate cosmological parameters at your dais, personification of the sky itself, your deva, which originally meant bright or something for sun worship. Shield those eyes lest you go blind. G-spot, lower those eyes as you pass the pasha on the road. Schoolgirls with simple headscarves cry for recognition. Identity! Identity, as if a cloth outed thus to conceal a power where women can kill with the arrow of an eye. Troubles my mind, placed thus on head, seat of stubborn wisdom. But some governments do care, more like nuns than chatter. But do they really? What hides under cloth? G-spot, the Grafenberg spot below. Or no, start again, G-spot. Imagine place, a pilgrimage, a strip joint, thousands gather to witness her pleasure. I want to go back there to give a piece of my mind, break the day, strip it down. The missile never takes off, and she, founded on a promise, will break anyway. Waiting for her shuttle to rejuvenate.